Hello again, everybody. Welcome to Global Business. This video we're going to be discussing Chapter 8. Please excuse me, I got a little bit of a cold, so I may have to cough here and there, but please excuse my rudeness. Alright, so in Chapter 8, we're going to be talking about foreign exchange and international financial markets. Now, this is a brief overview. You still need to read the chapters. The chapter is signed, but let's just discuss some of the key issues during this video. All right, foreign exchange. Foreign exchange is a commodity that consists of currencies issued by countries other than one's own. Okay, so foreign exchange deals with commodities is a commodity that consists of currencies issued by countries other than one's own. All right, like the prices of other commodities, the price of foreign exchange, given the flexibility exchange rate system, is set by supply and demand. All right, so it's set by supply and demand as dictated through the marketplace. So you can buy other foreign monies, like other commodities, and based on what the demand is for it, it's going to set the price. Okay. Figure 8.1 presents the demand curve for Japanese yen. Okay, economics call this demand curve a derived demand curve because the demand for yen is derived from the foreigner's desire to acquire Japanese goods, services, and other assets. To buy Japanese goods, foreigners first need to buy Japanese yen. Like other demand curves, it is downward sloping, so as the price of the yen falls, the quantity of yen demanded increases. Okay, so the quantity of yen, so as the price of the yen falls, the quantity of the yen demanded increases. This is shown as a movement from point A to point B on the demand curve. Okay, so to buy Japanese goods, foreigners must first buy Japanese yen. So if you want to buy Japanese vehicles, you must first buy the Japanese currency, which is yen. And so as the demand curve dictates, it is downward sloping. So as the price of the yen falls, the quantity of yen demanded increases. All right, pretty simple stuff. All right, that's figure 8.1. This is figure 8.2, 8.1 for 2. Figure 8.2 represents the curve for yen. All right, underlying the supply curve for yen is the desire for the Japanese to acquire foreign goods, services, and assets. To buy foreign products, Japanese need to obtain foreign currencies, which they do by selling yen and using the proceeds to buy foreign currencies. Selling yen has the effect of supplying yen to the foreign exchange market. As with other goods, as the price of the yen rises, the quantity supplied also rises. You can see this when you move from point A to point B along the supply curve on figure 8.2. And that's in the book too, so you might want to take a look at that. The last one I want to show you is slide 8.3, the market for yen. All right, this figure determines the equilibrium price of yen. Points along the vertical axis show the price of the yen in dollars. Okay, so price of the yen in dollars here. How many dollars must be paid? How many dollars one must pay for each yen purchased? Points along the horizontal axis show the quantity of yen. As in other markets, the intersection of supply curve S and the demand curve D yields the market clearing equilibrium price. In this case, $0.009, and the equilibrium quantity demanded and supplied 200 million yen. Okay, this is all crazy stuff. Unless you get into commodities trading or exchange trading, this is maybe a little esoteric, but don't worry about it. I just want to give you a brief overview of it. All right, foreign exchange rates. All right, foreign exchange rate quotes is the next thing we're going to talk about. Foreign exchange rates are published daily in most major newspapers, or you can get them online. These rates are quoted in two ways: as the direct exchange rate, or direct quote, and this is the price of the foreign currency in terms of the home currency. So the direct quote is the price of the foreign currency in terms of the home currency. All right, an indirect exchange rate, or indirect quote, is the price of the home currency in terms of the foreign currency. Right, so it's just the opposite. Mathematically, the direct exchange rate and the indirect exchange rate are reciprocal of one another. All right, by tradition and sometimes by convenience, certain exchange rates are typically quoted on a direct basis and others on an indirect basis. For example, common U.S. practice is to quote British pounds as on the direct basis, but Japanese yens on the indirect basis. All right, so again, the direct quote or the direct exchange rate is the price of the foreign currency in terms of the home currency. Right, whereas the indirect exchange rate is the exact opposite. It is the price of the home currency in terms of the foreign currency. Okay? Real difficult. You just got to get the language down. All right? Excuse me. Like I said, I got a little cough. The foreign exchange market consists of buyers and sellers of currencies issued by the world's various countries. Anyone who owns money denominated in one currency and wants to convert that money to a second currency participates in the foreign exchange market. All right. The worldwide volume of foreign exchange trading is estimated to be around $5.3 trillion per day. That's a couple bucks getting thrown around. All right. The largest foreign exchange market is in London, followed by Tokyo, Singapore, and then New York City. Interestingly enough, though, approximately 87% of all the transactions involve U.S. dollars. U.S. dollar, this is due to the fact that U.S. dollar is a primary transaction currency on the foreign exchange market. All right? So just be aware that the American dollar plays a pretty dominant role in the foreign exchange committee and the foreign exchange market. All right? So here you see in this slide, you can see how this works. U.S. dollar 87%, Australian's about 9%, Mexican peso is about 3%, Canadian dollars 5%, Swiss francs 5%, British pound sterling 12%, yen's 23%, and the euro itself at 33%. Okay, all right. The role of banks. The role of banks. The clients of foreign exchange departments fall into several various categories. Okay? Commercial customers. This is the exchange, and commercial customers engage in foreign exchange transactions as part of their normal business activities. These activities include exporting and importing goods and services, paying or receiving dividends and interest from foreign sources, and purchasing or selling foreign assets and investments. Some commercial customers use the market to hedge against unfavorable changes in a foreign exchange rate for monies to be paid or received in the future. Okay? Also, speculators deliberately assume exchange risk by acquiring positions in currency, hoping that they can correctly predict exchanges in the currency market. Foreign exchange speculation can be very lucrative if one guesses correctly, but at most times is extremely risky. Okay. Currency. Another thing we need to talk about is currency arbitrage, whatever this word is. All right. I have a cold. I cannot talk. I am so sorry. All right. They attempt to exploit small differences in the price of currency as between markets. They seek to obtain riskless profits by simultaneously buying the currency in the lower price market and selling it in the higher price market. All right, so this is pretty fancy stuff. You can make some good money if you're good at this. All right. All right, currencies that are freely tradable are called convertible currencies. All right, convertible currencies. Also, they're also called hard currencies. Okay, so currencies that are freely tradable are convertible or hard currencies. These include the euro, the British pound, the Swedish krona, the Canadian dollar, the Swiss franc, the Japanese yen, and of course the U.S. dollar. Currencies that are not freely tradable because of domestic laws or the unwillingness of foreigners to hold them are called inconvertible currencies or soft currencies. These are the currencies of many developing countries, and fall, and these these fall into that soft category. Okay. Many international business transactions involve payments to be made in the future. Such transactions include lending activities and purchases on credit. Because changes in currency values are common, such international transactions would appear to be risky. Therefore, how can a firm know for sure that the future value of the foreign currency? This is a question that I think you guys should think about for a little bit. So, there's different ways of hedging on the foreign exchange market, or hedging foreign exchange risk. All right, number one is the spot market. All right, this consists of foreign exchange transactions that are to be consummated immediately, normally defined as 2 days after the trade date. Spot transactions account for around 38% of all foreign exchange transactions. All right. Another way to hedge against foreign exchange risk is through what we call the forward market. This consists of foreign exchange transactions that will occur sometime in the future. Prices are often published for exchanges that will be delivered 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months into the future. Many users of the forward market engage in swap transactions. A swap transaction is a transaction in which the same currency is bought and sold simultaneously, but the delivery is made at 2 different points in time. All right. The foreign exchange market has developed 2 other mechanisms to allow firms to attain foreign exchange in the future. Neither, however, provides the flexibility in amount and in timing that international banks offer. The first mechanism is currency future. All right. These are publicly traded on many exchanges worldwide, and consist of a currency future is a contract that resembles a forward contract. However, unlike the forward contract, the currency future is for a standard amount on a standard delivery date. For example, the 3rd Wednesday of the contract's maturity month. Okay? The second option is what is known as currency option. This allows, but does not require, a firm to buy or sell a specific amount of foreign currency at a specific price on a specific date. Okay? A call option grants the right to buy the foreign currency in question, and the put option grants the right to sell the foreign exchange. Currency options are publicly traded on organized exchanges throughout the world. All right, so all of these help in hedging against certain risk. All right, so you have your spot market, your forward market, your swap transactions, your currency futures, and your currency options. And again, all of these are their mechanisms that you can use to protect yourself if you are trading currencies. Two other things we have spot and about the. So I'd like to mention about the spot and forward markets. I'm sorry, I was coughing there for a second. I just turned the sound off. My apologies. The forward price on foreign currency offers differ from its spot price. If the forward price, using a direct quote, is less than the spot price, the currency is selling at a forward discount. Okay? So if the forward price is less than the spot price, that is considered a forward discount. However, if the forward price is higher than the spot price, the currency is selling at a forward premium. Okay? So, it's just real simple. The forward price of foreign currency differs from the spot price. If the forward price is less than the spot price, the currency is selling at a forward discount. If the forward price is higher than the spot price, the currency is selling at a forward premium. All right. Arbitrage, and I'm going to pronounce this wrong, and my sincere policies. Arbitrage and the currency market. All right, another important component of the foreign exchange market is arbitrage activities. Arbitrage is the riskless purchase of a product in one market for immediate resale in a second market. Okay? in order to profit from a price discrepancy. We will explore two types of arbitrage activities that affect the foreign exchange market: arbitrage of goods and arbitrage of money. All right, arbitrage of goods is purchase. Think about it this way: if the price of a good differs between two markets, people will tend to buy the good in the market offering the lower price, the cheap market, and resell it in a market offering the higher price, or the expensive market. Under the law of one price, such arbitrage activities will continue until the price of the good is identical in both markets, excluding transactional costs and all that good stuff. The arbitrage of goods across national boundaries is represented by the theory of purchasing power parity, PPP. The theory states that the prices of tradable goods, when expressed in a common currency, will tend to equalize across boundaries as a result of exchange rate changes. PPP occurs because the process of buying a good in a cheap market and reselling it in the expensive market affects the following: the demand for and the price of the foreign currency, and the market price of the good itself in the two product markets in question. All right, so the theory of purchasing power parity states that the prices of a tradable good, when expressed in common currency, will tend to equalize across countries as a result of exchange rate changes. The other thing we need to talk about is arbitrage of money. All right, two-point arbitrage, also called geographic arbitrage, involves profiting from price differences in two geographical distinct markets. All right, three-point arbitrage is the buying and selling of three different currencies to make a riskless profit. I like that, riskless profit. And there's covered interest arbitrage, is the arbitrage that occurs when the difference between the two countries' interest rate is not equal to the forward discount or the forward premium on their currencies. Okay. Think about this, right? The three-point arbitrage. Consider this, for example. Suppose that £1 can buy $2 in New York, Tokyo, and London. All right, so £1 can buy £2 in New York, Tokyo, and London. $1 can buy 120 yen in those three markets, and £1 can buy 200 yen in all three. Because the exchange rate between each pair of currencies is the same in each country, no possibility of profitable two-point arbitrage exists. However, three-point arbitrage opportunities exist. All right, three-point arbitrage is the buying and selling of three different currencies to make a riskless profit, right? Step one, convert your £1 into $2. Convert that $2 into 240 yen. Then convert that 240 yen into 1.2 euros, 2 pounds. All right. Through these three steps, £1 has been converted into 1.2 pounds for a riskless profit of 0.2 pounds. All right. Amazing, isn't it? So you can just sit there at your desk all day, and if you can time this right, and you can negotiate it right, and you're above the curve, you can make yourself a nice little profit. Not to say that you should, but yeah, there are ways to make money on these commodities. All right. Just international capital markets. Just want you to take a look at Table 8.1, world's 20 largest banks. The international banking system is centered in large money market banks headquartered in the world's financial centers, such as Japan, the United States, and the European Union. These banks are involved in international commerce on a global scale. All right, so you see in this, the number one ranked bank is China, number two, Netherlands, France, United States, Spain, United Kingdom, France, and so forth. You got Wells Fargo there at 13 in the United States. All right, so just familiarize yourself with that. Get to know where the big banks are. International capital markets, major international banks. International banking takes many forms. Okay, originally most international banking was done through reciprocal correspondent relationships among banks located in different countries. A correspondent relationship is an agent relationship, whereby one bank acts as a correspondent or agent for another bank in the first bank's home country and vice versa. An overseas banking operation can be established in several ways. If a bank separately incorporated, if it is separately incorporated from the parent, it is called a subsidiary bank. If it is not separately incorporated, it is called a branch bank. Sometimes an international bank may choose to create what they call an affiliate bank, an overseas operation in which it takes part ownership in conjunction with a local or foreign partner. All right, so we have in major international banks take various forms: subsidiary banks, branch, or affiliates. They have this corresponding relationship between the two. And then on the service side, however, international banks and their overseas operations are important providers of international commercial banking services. Exporters and tourists use such banking services when they exchange their home currencies or traveler's checks. I don't even know if we use traveler's checks anymore, for local currency. Although the physical exchange of one country's paper currency for another's is part of the international banking operation, a far more important part entails financing and facilitating everyday commercial transactions. In addition to all of this, most international banks provide some form of investment banking services. Just take a minute, digest. I know I'm going through this pretty quick. I'm trying to get through while still being able to breathe. All right. The international capital market, euro currency market. Let's just talk about the euro currency market for a change. When I say the euro currency market, this is a market that originated in the 1950s. At first, it was euro dollars was applied to the U.S. dollars. All right. As other currencies became stronger, though, the market broadened to everyone. Today, the currency on deposit outside of its country of issue is defined as euro currency. All right. Let's go retrace that. The euro currency market originated in the 1950s. At first, it was the term euro dollars was applied to U.S. dollars deposited in any bank account outside the United States. All right, so any U.S. dollar deposited in a bank somewhere else, China, England, wherever, was considered euro dollars. As other currencies became stronger, however, the market broadened to include euro yen, euro pounds, and other currencies. Right? So now, instead of just calling it euro dollars, because of the strengths of other currencies out there, today a currency on deposit outside of its country of issue is defined as euro currency. All right, does that make sense? Any questions on that? Please feel free to contact me. All right, the second concept on the euro currency, we're talking about euro currency, are euro loans. All right, the euro loan market has grown with the euro currency market. These things go hand in hand. Euro loans are often quoted on the basis of the London Interbank Offer Rate, or LIBOR. Right, the interest rate this is the interest rate that London banks charge each other for short-term euro currency loans. The market is a low-cost source of loans for large creditworthy borrowers, such as governments and other multinationals. All right. In 1981, the Federal Reserve authorized the creation of the International Banking Facilities, or IBFs. What the IBFs are, they are subsidiaries of U.S. banks. All right, so they're U.S. bank subsidiaries. However, they are distinct from the domestic operation of those banks, and they may offer only international banking services. Because IBFs do not need to observe U.S. domestic banking regulations, they enable U.S. banks to compete with their international bankers in the euro loan market. Let's talk a little bit about the international bond market. The international bond market represents a major source of debt financing for the world's governments, international organizations, and large firms. This market has traditionally consisted of two types of bonds. Foreign bonds. Foreign bonds are issued by a residency of country A, but are sold to residents of country B, and dominated in the currency of country B. For example, the Nestle Corporation, a Swiss resident, might issue a foreign bond dominated in yen and sold primarily to residents of Japan. All right, those are foreign bonds. Foreign bonds are issued by a resident of country A, but are sold to residents of country B. Okay, and dominated in the currency of country B. A euro bond, however, is a bond issued in the currency of country A, but sold to residents of other countries. All right, so not just country B, many other countries. For example, American Airlines can borrow $500 million by selling euro bonds dominated in dollars to residents in Denmark and in Germany. The international bond market has grown increasingly sophisticated. All right, syndicates of investment banks, security firms, commercial banks put together complex packages of international bonds to serve the borrowing needs of major multinationals, governments, and international organizations. One such financial instrument is known as the global bond. And what the global bond is a large liquid financial asset that can be traded anywhere at any time. This is good stuff. This is really good stuff for our global business. We're talking about global bonds. Global bonds are large liquid financial assets that can be traded anywhere at any time. All right. The growing importance of multinational operations and improvements in telecommunications have made equity markets global. All right. Because we keep advancing, because of our multinationals, and because of we can talk to anybody anywhere at any time, equity markets are becoming global. Startup companies are no longer restricted to raising new equity solely from domestic sources. Established firms can tap into the global equity market also. Another innovation is what we call a country fund, which is a mutual fund that specializes in investing in a given country's firms. All right, so you can have a whole mutual fund for Zimbabwe, or a whole mutual fund for Luxembourg. All right, so these emerging markets, they might buy mutual fund in one of these emerging countries and do very well for yourself. However, the globalization of equity markets has been facilitated by the globalization of our financial service industries. Most major financial service firms, Merrill Lynch, Deutsche Bank, those kind of things, have expanded operations from their domestic bases into the major international financial centers. These financial service firms are happy to raise capital, provide investment advice, offer stock market analysis, and put together financial deals for clients anywhere throughout the world. All right, and now, because this is predominantly in the news with what's going on in Iceland, offshore financial centers focus on offering banking and other financial services to non-resident customers. Many of these centers are located on island states such as the Bahamas, Bahrain, Cayman Islands, Netherlands, Antilles, and Singapore. Although they are not islands, Luxembourg and Switzerland are also important offshore financial centers. Multinationals often use offshore financial centers to obtain low-cost euro currency loans. Many multinationals locate financial subsidiaries in these centers to take advantage of the benefits they offer: political stability, a regulatory climate that facilitates international capital transactions, excellent communications links to other major financial centers, and the availability of legal, accounting, financial, and other expertise which is readily available. The efficiency of these offshore financial centers is attracting deposits and then lending these funds to customers worldwide. This is an important factor in the growing globalization of our capital market. All right, just wanted to give you a brief overview of Chapter 8. All right, I'm sorry I kind of rushed through things today. I apologize. It's just, like I said, I'm just not up to speed today. I'm not feeling very well, but we'll work through it. And, I look forward to the video on Chapter 9, and then we'll go from there. Thank you very much.